Thank you for joining this lesson, Trigonometry 3, Trigonometric equations. Number 7, solve the equation 8x squared plus 2x minus 3 equals to 0, and solve the equation. We're having a 8 cosine squared of y plus 2 cosine of y minus 3 equals to 0 for the range of the values of y between 0 and 180. Remember to subscribe to this channel and to share the link with friends. Therefore, when we will solve this quadratic equation, there is an automatic problem we will have already solved, because in this equation whereby cosine is squared, then we have cosine, and now a term without cosine, we can say the cosine of y is let to be x. So that now this equation is written as 8x squared plus 2x minus 3 equals to 0. So when we will solve for x, we will have solved for cosine of y. That is something which has to be noted. Now let me start solving this one. I can prefer using the factorization method, whereby I will claim a product of a times c, 8 times negative 3, which is negative 24, and a sum of 2, the value at b. Therefore, the two factors, which when multiplied, they give us negative 24, and when added, they give us 2 as 6 and negative 4. 6 and negative 4. Therefore, at this point, I'll have 8x squared. We substitute 2x with 6 and negative 4. So we will add 6x and subtract 4x, then minus 3. This is equal to 0. In the first two terms, we have 2x being common to remain with 4x plus 3. Then we can have negative 1. So that now here we will have 4x and positive 3 equals to 0. So with this now, we can pick, let me divide the space here. We can pick, before we go there, we can have 4x plus 3 and 2x minus 1. This is equal to 0. With this, we can conclude that each of the factors equals to 0, so that we have 4x equals to negative 3. 4x plus 3 equals to 0. To have 4x being equal to negative 3, and hence conclude that the value of x equals to negative 3 out of 4. Again, 2x minus 1 equals to 0, so that 2x equals to 1, and the value of x is again 1 out of 2. So we have two values of x. Now with the two values of x, we should say that the cosine of y is either negative 3/4 or positive half. So we will say cos of y equals to negative 3 over 4. Therefore, for us to get y, which is the angle, I will need the cos inverse of 3 over 4. I'm first of all omitting the negative for a known reason. Shift the cosine of 3/4. This gives us 41.41. So we need this acute angle in the quadrants, where cosines are negative, and the cosines where the quadrants where cosines are negative, according to the unit circle, all trigonometric ratios are positive here. Only sines are positive, only tangents are positive, only cosines. So where cosines are negative is 41.41 in the second and in the third quadrant. Therefore, in the second, we'll have 180 minus, and we'll get an angle of y being 138.59 degrees, or in the third, whereby it will be 180 plus 41.41. This is 221. And remember, 221 is going beyond the limit here. Therefore, we forgo the second option. Secondly, when we have the cosine of y as half, now we will need y as the cos inverse of half, and this is being exactly 60. Now this one is positive, so we need this acute angle in the quadrants where cosines are positive. And where cosines are positive is either in the first quadrant, whereby it is 60 itself, or in the third quadrant, whereby an angle of 60 in the third quadrant, an angle of 60 in the third quadrant will mean 300 exactly. 300 exactly, yeah, 300 exactly. And 300 is beyond the limit. Therefore, we're going to go by only two options. 60 degrees, 138.59 degrees. These are the only angles which satisfy the above conditions. Thank you for following. Subscribe and share.